Good evening everyone. In this video I'm gonna show you how to repair an Xbox 360 controller that's got faulty. I've already done the repair before, but only mistake is I have used a bad quality wire before, so it got its problem again. Now in this video I'm gonna replace this wire with this new one. You can get it in the market for around $2 price or 150 in INR. So I'm gonna show you. Make sure that wire you take is a bit longer, like I've got 2 meters one in this video. Let's see how it's done. The problem with the Xbox 360 controllers, mainly the reason they get faulty over time, is because these wires, while you're playing, they get snapped off like this in opposite forces. I mean, if someone kicks the wire or someone pulls the wire so hardly while playing the Xbox, there could be a possibility that the wires inside could get snapped and lose the contact. That's when these wires get faulty, and it's recommended that whole wire is replaced. So make sure you get a high quality wire with shielding. Without shielding also works, but with shielding the wires don't get spoiled so easily. So let's see it. Okay, now I'm opening up the controller. Opening up the controller. Very much because I understand the woman. Everything on that quick fast. Show it inside. Just give a few taps and do that. Not the most pressure, I suppose. Something. Take it out. Okay. So, in case I lose it stuff. I took it out. So, an important tip for people who aren't less familiar with electronics. Here, the USB has mainly 4 wires as inputs to the controller. As you can see, this red wire is the plus 5 volt signal from the USB voltage, and this blue wire is a negative. These 2 wires in between the red and blue are the data plus and data minus wires. So if you aren't familiar with this kind of setup, I suggest that you take a snapshot of the controller, how the wiring is done, and reassemble it when you're doing the soldering again. That is more important, else there could be complications, like you might just fry up the controller IC or controller regulators. Okay. Next, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna snap this wire off and clean up the PCB board that has this residual wires, and also remember to collect this, because this is very important. This is what prevents the joystick wires to be snapped off if someone forcibly pulls them. I've already had it modified before like this, so that when you're pushing the wire through this again, you're gonna apply some glue inside so that the wire stays intact. So that's it. I'm gonna clean up this board by solvent cleaning, and I'm gonna make sure this solder isn't there for the new wires to fit in. And next part is how to modify your USB cable that you have bought a new one. So this is the new cable. It's 2 meters long, and you can see it's actually a phone charging cable. Charges the phone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this off. I'm gonna snap out the wires. Okay, I've done it. So this wire came without shielding. High quality wires come with shielding, but this one has come without shielding. So in this wire, this is the +5. The black one instead of the blue is minus. These two are the data plus. Green wire is data plus, and white wire is the data minus. So we're going to strip them and we're going to make them ready to solder into the controller. So the next step is to check our new USB cable, if it's working or not with the Xbox 360. The main reason for this step is to rectify if the problem is with the USB wire or with the Xbox 360. Sometimes the USB ports in the Xbox 360 might get faulty, and this step rectifies that. So in this video I got my wires stripped and ready for the check. I got multimeter probes, and this is my multimeter. This is my multimeter. I put it in the voltage mode, and I'm plugging my USB cable into the Xbox 360. This is my Xbox 360. I'm gonna turn on the Xbox 360. Make sure when you're doing this test, you're not touching anything, any wire to each other. So I'm gonna keep them a little bit apart. So I'm gonna turn on the Xbox 360. I'm gonna put my negative probe on the black wire and the positive on the red. It's gonna take me a while, so I'm gonna pause the video, and once done I'm gonna show you the reading. Welcome back. So put the negative of the black to negative probe and the positive to the red probe, and I'm getting like around 5.10 voltage, as you can see, 5.1. So you can say that this wire is working properly, and if you want to test the data also, it's gonna work, but it gives you like very less voltage because you're not inputting anything. So our wire is okay to be installed into the new controller. It's giving you like a small readings, so that's okay. The wire is fine, and my Xbox 360 is also turned on for proof purpose. This is my setup. So this is my soldering setup over here, and I'm already heating up this soldering rod that is ready to solder. I'm gonna clean up the tip a bit. Use the razor. Use the clean. Okay. Let's get this all done. First time, I'm gonna remove this excessive solder and I'm gonna take off the solder with the help of the wick. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna take a while. We need to clean it very carefully. There's no conduction. Makes use of flux and trap up the solder on the wick copper braid and clean up the solder joints properly. I'm gonna show it after I'm done with it because it's gonna take a while. I'm gonna pause the video. Okay, now welcome back. I've cleaned the pads with the solder and you can see there is some lift of some copper off the pads. It's because this is a Chinese controller. It's an imitation of original Xbox 360 controller, but the process is same. You just have to identify what's what and what terminal goes to where, and you have to do it. Now for a quick check, I'm doing a diode test by setting my multimeter in continuity mode. It's my multimeter. I'm gonna set it in continuity mode, and I'm sure you can hear the beep of the continuity. Okay, so I'm checking if there's any short of terminals. So I'm putting the positive and negative. This is the main step. You have to check the positive and negativity continuity. If there's a continuity, there's a short, you have to clean it thoroughly again. I don't see any shorting. Checking the green terminal, data plus, there is no continuity. Data minus, there is no continuity. Okay, so the board is ready to get hooked up with the new wire. So this is my new wire. This is my new wire, and this is the rubber that holds up the wire to prevent snapping. So before I solder this wire into the controller, I'm gonna put this rubber into the wire and tighten it up so that there is no slipping. Actually, you can see it's a bit loose. It's a bit loose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply some tape on this wire to tighten it up a bit. So I'm using insulation tape. I'm gonna pack some few rounds of insulation tape around the insulation of the wire. Okay, I think the video is a bit like this. Okay, I'm packing it up a bit. So that'll lose up and tighten up the rubber that you're inserting. This rubber is very essential. This is tightening. Okay. Now that it'll hold itself in its place, now I'm gonna solder these wires to the circuit board. So let me do it. I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna solder the wires. The orientation is like this. First the red, then the green one, data plus, then the white one, data minus, and then the gray or the black one. Sorry, I've been calling it black, but I'm a bit habituated with the color codes and all, so I call the gray as black so that I don't get confused. So actually it's a gray one, so sorry about that. So I'm gonna show. Okay, now I'm finished soldering all the wire terminals to respective positions, and I'm gonna check if there's any short again. This one over here. Check for any shorts. There's no short, so it's okay. It's good. Also, don't forget to insulate the back part with a glue gun in the next step I'm gonna do that. Coming to soldering, came a bit messy, but it's okay, it's gonna work. As far as there is no short, everything is fine. Next step, I'm gonna insulate this back part with the glue gun, and I'm gonna rearrange this joystick, fit it again, and I'm gonna test it. Alright, after soldering, what I did is I insulated the white terminals with the help of a glue gun. So after this I'm fitting up the joystick. It's pretty much the same process of how I removed it. So I'm gonna fit it and I'm gonna show it. The fitting process is same like before. Solid. About the vibration motors and devices on the schedule. Make sure everything is going intact. If there's something problematic, just double check it. There's a verifying button. Be careful when you're fitting the joystick back in because small mistakes can all fittings, and the main use of this is how it was used. So pretty well I've fitted everything in its place and everything's fine. So I'm gonna screw the top lid to the joystick. And after this I'm gonna show you the test. The actual test in Xbox 360. Welcome back again. Now, after the repair of the joystick, I have fitted the joystick into the Xbox 360, and now it's working fine as a new one. So, this is how you repair an Xbox 360 joystick. By the way, this is a Chinese controller. Right now I'm using Freestyle Dash on my Xbox 360. The repair process is same for any joystick. Just you have to remember that the terminals are correct because it's universal. USB has 4 terminals, plus 5 volts, negative, data plus and data minus. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscription. I don't want to ask about it. That is up to you, because this video is mainly educational, because I see so many Chinese controllers getting spoiled. Right now, game on. Okay, this is working fine. Okay, that's it. Have a good evening.